Aubrey LaPlante is your class speaker. The Provost Selection Committee chose Aubrey for this honor from a group of outstanding candidates nominated by our academic programs. Aubrey graduates today with a Bachelor of Science degree in Geology and a minor in Physics. During her time at Western, she was awarded several scholarships for excellence through the Western Foundation, served as a teaching assistant in geology labs, and just returned from 5 weeks of geology camp. She was also a member of Western's rock climbing team, competing in events in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. Aubrey didn't come to Western knowing that she wanted to go into geology. A graduate of Edmonds-Woodway High School, she had always loved math and science, but was originally drawn to the arts. However, she took a geology class. She fell in love with the subject, realizing that it combined all of her passions in one field. In addition to academic and extracurricular activities, Aubrey worked 20 to 25 hours a week to help pay for her education. She persevered with support and guidance from her brother Robert, her father Brian, and her mother Peggy. Aubrey says she gets her work ethic from her mother, the oldest of 9 children who put herself through college, eventually earning a master's in teaching education. After graduating, Aubrey plans to study for the graduate school entrance exam and for her first geology licensure exam. She wants to help people with her geology education and plans to work in the field of natural hazard mitigation. Her ultimate goal is to earn a PhD and share what she has learned with others. Please welcome your class speaker, Aubrey LaPlante.
So, I would first like to thank the people that have been so incredibly supportive and influential. Jackie Kaplan-Auerbach, you are the person who sparked my passion for geology. The excitement that you have for teaching and volcanoes is unprecedented. You have been immeasurably inspiring to so many of your students, and I wanted to thank you for all of your great advice. Sue DeBari, I have never met someone so patient, hardworking, and supportive. You always listened to me when I needed help, and I can't believe how much time you give to your students. Lastly, I would like to thank my mother for being so steadfast in her teachings. She's the oldest of 9, supported herself through college, and is the only one in her family to attend a 4-year university. As a teacher, she's always pushed me to be my best, to be independent and self-driven. After a long day of school, followed by an even longer night of work, I could always count on her to listen to my troubles. When I was applying for colleges, I followed in the aftermath of the recession. Both my mother and my father were looking for work, and I was prompted to look into community college as an alternative to years of student debt. However, I was only really drawn to Western. It might have been the hiking, it might have been the academics, and it might have been the opportunity to shoot zombies after class. But stepping foot on campus, I felt the anticipation and the excitement of a new adventure. Looking back on these 4 years, I was asked how my experience has been different from the experiences of others. I began to reflect on the things that I learned implicitly in my time here, and I narrowed these things down to 3 very important ideas. The first is that of the importance of conquering our fear of failure. It is far from a new idea that failure is a good thing. My ability to stand in front of you today is a result of everything I have attempted here and failed at, be it the job interview for which I was never called back for, the failed audition, a bad grade in a class, or falling short of personal expectations at a climbing competition. You have to remember that everything is practice. Everything is an experience. And guidelines are set up for us as a social construction that we can either choose to meet, exceed, or diverge from. And we should not let these guidelines define our success, but instead inspire us to achieve our goals. My first quarter at Western, I received a D in a math class. Doing so poorly in a subject I loved so much was devastating, and I doubted that college was the right path for me. I remember calling my mom to break the news to her, upon which she offered me this very noble truth. A lot of people fail classes in college, but this does not define their ability to succeed in the future. And while I didn't immediately find solace in this, I soon realized that she was right, that I had to pick myself up and try again. I realized that we must use these opportunities to fight and strive for what we want, because often the things we must fight for are most worth the effort. My second piece of advice is this: do not shy away from the strange opportunities. Do things that make you uncomfortable, and take the time to seek out the weird adventures. The stories you will gain, the things that you learn, and the people you will meet will morph you into the most interesting of characters. 2 years ago, I pursued a job working at a fishery in Sitka, Alaska. Being one of 4 women and one of the only Americans caused me to stick out like a sore thumb. I experienced some of the harshest working conditions in which I've never been so cold, so hungry, and so exhausted. But the honest truth is, I loved every minute of it. In the time I spent in Alaska, I befriended an old woman. This woman, whom I nicknamed Mama Ava, shared with me humbling stories of her hometown of Tepic, Mexico. Eva took me under her wing and taught me how useful singing can be when you're too tired to stand. I learned more about myself in these 2.5 months of sorting and tossing fish around than I had in the previous 2 years. This experience taught me that it's important to pay attention to your life and recognize the opportunity and the tortuous paths we may encounter, to never sell yourself short, and to never be afraid to say yes to the unknown. The last bit of advice that I encourage you all to follow is inspired by the late Jack Kerouac, and that is to be in love with every minute of your life. Harness a passion for all that you do. Doing this, you will become more versatile, and you will obtain a unique gravity for attracting good opportunities. I feel so lucky to have found my passion so early in life. The 5 weeks of Geology field camp that I just endured tested me mentally and physically. Mapping in 100+ degree weather, struggling up steep, rocky slopes, and trying to write reports while being attacked by flies and mosquitoes, I found that by the end, I could see myself doing this every day for the rest of my life. Waking up to the morning coffee and sun rising over the glacial valley in Montana, I was entranced. I can't stress this enough. Let yourself fall in love with something that will take you places. From this day on, you have a freedom that must not be wasted. And from this day on, I wish you all luck and congratulations for surviving all the sleepless nights, stressful tests, and dining hall food. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you, Aubrey, for those stirring words.